Hi, it's Victor here again. Couple of episodes ago, I talked about 10 mistakes that new trader make, and I say I would break them down into separate episodes. And today is one of those episodes. And today is the first in the list, which is talking about process-centric versus result-centric. Basically, is what most people does in is thinking about the result, the money, rather than thinking about how best to make themselves better in the process. So I'm going to discuss in details about that. It's coming up next. Okay, today I'm going to talk about process-centric versus result-centric. Basically, from as far as I remember, when I first started, I, like every new trader, just want the money. Tell me how to do it, and basically give me tips, and I follow to the T. And then so long I make money, then you're gone. If you don't give me the right information, then I'll jump onto someone else and find some other thing to actually tell me. It could be in sense of a book or newspaper or somebody's opinion, a little tip that I heard from somewhere, and so forth. And I always thinking of the result, the money. It's a bit like, in the old days, I think of more like buying a lottery, that kind of thing. So you go and get a lottery ticket from whatever convenience shop near you, and then you just buy one, and hoping you are the one that actually hit the jackpot and win millions. Easy money, so to speak, without work. That is the type of attitude I have when I first started, which is totally wrong. And over time, I feel that as I get more into trading, as I failed more and still continue, never giving up, I look back to my old mistakes and misdeeds, so to speak, and how I actually, focusing on the money all the time is really not helping me at all, to have the wrong mindset. And ever since then, I've sort of tried to learn a lot more, like what process is fit me, what process that I like to do, and also the time that I have to actually do those things, so I can consistently apply the process. So the process itself for trading, is in manifold, but the main thing for me is, first of all, I would like to discuss something that I really like to tell people about is McDonald's. Why I like McDonald's, the business model, so much. It's not I like the burger, but think of it as it's business. Okay, its basic model is going to sell your hamburger. Okay, and you go around the world, you buy McDonald's. It's always served with teenagers or very young men, young chaps and girls, and they have most of them, I don't believe, have any cooking experience or hospitality experience, but they're able to serve you in a certain standard, and cook you a burger with a certain standard as well. All because McDonald's have a very good internal processing. Okay, that should tell you what step that you need to do, how to cook, how long it takes to cook each side of the burger, how to put the whatever stuff inside in the burger together, and then how long it takes, so forth. So it's a bit like, there's a show called Founders, which really talks about how the McDonald's comes about, so to speak, and it's exactly what actually says in there that intrigued me, because they have a process written down to the T, very rigid. The whole idea doing that is to cut out time, cut out bad processes, and then to give you a standard opening burger as a record time, so to speak. Now, the good thing about this thing is that, at the end of the day, when the processing comes through, either you like McDonald's or not, you are served around the world by teenagers who have no actual experience about hamburger business, and able to serve you an average hamburger no matter where in the world you are, so long as you see the big M, and there is a certain standard to be expected. And Doesn't matter what type of teenager they're there, what type of color skin they're there, what type of religion they're there, sex, whatever. They can able to cook you a cabbage hamburger. And that is the key. The process is the key, not the result. Now, the process is so good that no matter who picks it up, the process still able to manage, enable you to, other teenagers to create a average hamburger. And that is what we need to think about as a trader. All we think about is the end result, the burger, in this case, in McDonald's case. We didn't think about, how I can, speed things up, do it more efficiently and so forth, because we're not thinking like a business owner. We're thinking of a hungry mouth. You just want a burger, a hungry mouth for money. I just want the money. Just give me the money. I don't care how it is. Just tell me the tips. I just buy. And that's exactly the wrong mindset to have. And the other way I can also think about it is drawing from my work experience. I'm a software engineer, and I have done development as well as support. And while I was running a support team, I see time and time again certain teams able to deliver a better product to the end customer when I then have to take over and then support the customer. And some, even within the same company, some other project deliver to my hands are basically have loads of problems, and I have to hand holding and do a lot of interaction with customer, getting installed, software installed, support them and so forth. And all because the actual project manager involved and also team leader involved in the actual project itself is not following a certain process. So for the one that works well, I have always a detailed documentation of the requirements, the actual documentation of the design, test results, and good training. And after self-service, so to speak, they pass the information to me. They train me and my team up, and I'm able to efficiently do my job. And I can always fall back to them for questioning for anything I not understand. But because the documentation and the process is so good, I hardly able to need to go back to them. I can just basically hit the road and fly, and run, so to speak. But for the managers and the team leader who don't really follow a good process, they don't define things properly. I always found that when it comes to my hand, when I start to learn, I have just certain steps I need to go through this just to keep my processing right, to standard right, so I can support the customer better. And always found there's not enough documentation, or training is not good. There's a lot of it and buts, and I'll give it to you later, that kind of things. It's not really well defined or written down. And so when it passes to the customer, when I'm supporting it, basically it caused me a lot of trouble, a lot of problems. So that's my work experience. And I found this is exactly applicable to trading. If we first all started as new trader, no matter how experienced we are, we all start somewhere. And when we first start somewhere, most of us don't have a clue what to do. And we just listen to so-called gurus, especially now we got so many avenue for information. Old days it's just books, newsletters, maybe TV show. Now you got YouTube, you got social media, basically bombarding you informations, and especially now it's information overload, and you don't know exactly who to listen to. Everybody seems to have a strategy. Everybody seems to be right, and you don't know who to turn to. You try one over here, it seems to work, and then you try the next couple more trade, don't seem to work at all, and then you jump to another system, and then do that thing again, and this don't seems to work, you jump in another system. So constantly jumping around with no process or to speak of to when you first start off. And then even when you have a process, because it's not yours, you don't follow it. And that's the biggest challenge I have. First of all, is system jumping. I don't follow any particular process. So I'm not just making money. After a while, I just get very impatient, just go and find something else. And secondly, if I find something that I like, I mentally understand how it works. I don't have the mental attitude to continue. Just like how to handle random event. A couple of episodes I also talk about. I just don't like. If I see 2 or 3 failures or 5 failures, I say, that's enough. I just get out and I just go to some other training system. But failures is part of winning. Sometimes you get strings of failure as well as strings of winnings. Success. It go hands in hand, but our mind has been taught, by school or by the general public in the financial industry. You make money, that means it's good. You got a good formula. You don't make money, that's not good. But that's a wrong way of thinking. Process in trading in general, even let's say the trend following system I'm talking about, the 200 moving average trading system I use as example a couple of episodes about with GE, talk about how to handle GE episodes and stuff. It has its flaws. It doesn't work all the time. It doesn't make you, in the sense, it doesn't make you money all the time. It catches big trend. Multi-months, multi-years. But if you talk about choppy market, side market, it loses you money because the end of day price just going up and down in between the 200-day moving average line. But to new traders, they just so concentrate on the money, and they forgot every system has its down day as well as its good day. And if you have one strategy that you think you understand, or it seems to be your cup of tea, you don't if enough room to run, so to speak, like take every signal for at least 100 times, so that and you have to write things down as well, look at it and see the result. Then you can make a judgment to, is this a good result or a good system to follow. Then you can move on. Okay? But at the end of the day, once you settle something, you stay there and take every signal. What I said about taking 100 trade, I didn't take 100 trade at the start for any systems. I took maybe 10, maximum 20. I just walk off if it doesn't work for me. I just constantly searching for something. So basically, process-centric to me is you follow a set of rules that give you a certain outcome. And that's as simple as that. The problem here is with the added difficulties is we're talking about random event. Trading is a random event because we have effectively have a systematic way to make a bet to the market. But the market itself, at the end of the day, like I said before, we are at the end of the day, price is basically reflection of the general sentiment of the market. It's a random event. I have no idea what the market might think. The actual end of day data is a fight between the bears and the bulls, and two camps of people fighting them out, and then at the end of the day, that's the share price, and I trade against that share price. Behind it is human emotion, both in the bull camps as well as the bear camp. They do a lot of things, sometimes very irrational. So it causes some sort of random event because of that, and it's difficult for you to handle it, to handle that random event. So even if you have a process-centric follow through, you might still fail because it's a random event. Now, Larry Hyde used to say that there is a good bet, there's a bad bet, there's bet you win and bet you lose. And you can win in a bad bet and you can lose in a good bet. Okay, basically you can lose money even if you follow process. Then you can win money, don't following process, because it's a random event. But the main thing, Larry Hyde, which is one of the elder of trend following, always said that if you do that long time, the law of large numbers. So long as you keep on doing the right thing again and again over hundreds and thousands of times, or tens of thousands of times anyway, you will see the result. You will see much better result, much better return. And that's the problem that most people have, not just not following process, but don't know how to handle the random event. So together is basically, it's a mixing cocktail that, it can be quite toxic if you don't know how to handle it and don't have the right process and the mindset. Okay, so the process is basically, for me, is more important than the result. Because if you do the process right over long term, you will get the result, which is the money. Okay, which is ultimately that's what we want. But if you concentrate on the money, it's very likely you won't follow the process, don't write things down, don't have the right mental attitude to follow the process, or not in the right state of mind, and you just fall down and you just give up. And I think that's very sad, especially a lot of new traders like myself when I first started off, is because I want some extra income from on the side and then have some have financial freedom, so I have more say about my future. Initially, I just started off in trading so that I can supplement my income as part of my pension or investment on the side, so for a long term. So but I didn't have mental, and I didn't follow process. I didn't learn from my mistakes, and I mixed all sort of caused myself sort of problems and kill and blow up a lot of many trading accounts. I even lose count. I think more than 7, 8 of them. And each channel is, 3,000-4,000 pounds kind of things, sometimes more. And it just sometimes I just feel a bit ashamed talking about it, but that's the facts of life. If you don't follow a process, you don't have a good plan, your account basically dies. Okay, the process is very much like a plan. If you don't have a plan, you're planning to fail. I think a lot of people have said that already, so I'm not going to repeat all of that, but it is true. So following a process is more important than the actual result. Don't think of the money. You keep on thinking the money, it screws you up mentally, because it was your little voice in the background say, "Oh, it doesn't work. I lost 3 times, 4 times in a row." That's BS. That's wrong. Get out. But every the random process I did talk about so ago. Sometimes even you toss a coin, you can have a random losses of 6 losses in a row. I mean, sometimes it could be, from my other experience, 10 times, 12 times. What are you going to do about it? And that's only tossing on a fair coin. But if you do your process right, you have a positive edge, providing you do your process, take every signal, you end up better. You end up with more money than you start off with, but that takes time. And people don't want to follow the process. I think mainly because boredom. Second is that nobody tell them to, so they don't have a system. They have nothing to follow with, so to speak. So if they don't have a plan, what they got to follow? Yeah. And thirdly is when they even follow the plan, write things down, they don't review it. They don't actually look through the process and say, look, I did all this stupid trade because my emotional state was wrong. I was more hurry in going to market because I saw something on a chart, or somebody tell me something, or some silly news from whatever news channel you listen to, or on a tweet or something like that, and you didn't follow a process. You didn't follow your actual plan to basically go through the actual step to make sure that whatever trade you're taking on is go through your system is correct, so to speak. Filter it through, and then listen to other people. So I hope. I hope this helped you, because there's a lot of actual company out there try to sell you quick bucks. Come learn this trade. Come learn this course. I think it happens a lot, especially on forex trading. Come learn this. Spend some money with us, and we teach you how. We have mentors. He has live trader, and you'll be off to the races. With no time at all, and you'll be making money. You're doing on your own. Just buy my system. Use my stock brokers connection. Blah blah blah. To me, it's actually BS. Any skill worth learning, it takes time. Just like bicycle. Some of us learn faster than others. Some takes longer, but we will all need to learn how to ride a bicycle and fail by falling. Yeah, and falling down and hurt our hand. Hurt our knees, sometimes bang our head. But because the freedom that the cycling offer, we want to do cycling, and we learned it. But that takes time. So don't try, if people say learn this very quickly in 2 weeks, and then you get on your own and you'll be earning loads of money very quickly. No, don't listen to that. Put your wallet back in your bag. And that's this whole idea about following a process. Even they have a good process, one thing they don't tell you is it takes time. It takes time to do. Okay, so even you follow the process. So I hope this episode is useful. It's mainly about process versus result, but I also want to go into some other issue as well. But on the whole, is process. Follow your process. So long as you have positive edge with your system, you follow every signal. You follow what your process say, and just continue. And one day you make your money. And I'm talking about 6 months, 12 months, and 1 year plus kind of timeline, and you will make money. Okay. So I hope this podcast is to this episode has been useful to you, and you like this kind of podcast and want me to continue. Please subscribe to my podcast and tell your friends, others who might be interested about trading, especially maybe the new trader doesn't know what to do and want to learn about a bit trend following. And please listen and subscribe to my podcast. Okay, and I will speak to you guys soon in the next episode. Bye.